Today we're in Mecca, California, and we're gonna hike the Ladder Canyon Trail. We're gonna do approximately 3.8 miles of this hike. If you want, you could do the whole loop and do it, which would be 4.4 miles, but we will start here, driving up a dirt road, hiking up through a wash, passing up a cave, and going through the narrows to reach 3 viewpoints. And we will reach the dead end, which will be our last viewpoint of the hike. So this is the look we're gonna see when we get to the 3 points in which we will overlook the canyon and the narrows. This hike is very popular near the Palm Springs area and a very popular desert hike in Southern California. And you can see the path that you could go up through. You could take different trails on this hike, but we're gonna focus on the Ladder Canyon and reaching the 3 points of this hike. So the first quarter of the hike is probably the best part, and here is the parking lot. I would recommend bringing a 4-wheel drive to get up here. You can use a regular passenger vehicle, but you will have to take your time driving up here as it gets pretty bumpy. And when you get there, you will see this map right here showing you the drive up through Painted Canyon Road, which is going to be about 4 miles worth of driving through dirt road. So this is how the hike starts. Just this wide open canyon with rocks on both sides of you, and you will see a little bit of trees sprinkled throughout the hike. But because this is a desert hike, there's only a handful of plant life that you will witness, and those are all the rock formations you could see. And right here, I'm going to get close to one of the rocks and just touch it. So when you touch it, it has a very sandy feel to it. And later on, you will see why it's called the Painted Canyon. So you just walk, and right now it's pretty wide, but the canyon will narrow as we get further down the line. And there is a cave on the left hand side before you reach the Ladder Canyon. And this is the cave. And when you get inside the cave, I'm pulling up my phone flashlight, you're going to be able to see that people left some graffiti in this cave. So it's a nice little spot just to stop and take a look as you hike your way through the trail. And when you get to the Ladder Canyon, it's easy to miss the trail because there's a bunch of rocks covered and piled onto each other. But you just gotta climb over the rocks, and when you get to this point, you're gonna see a little hole down there, and that's gonna be where the ladder is you need to climb up to get up through this hike. And you will have to kind of wiggle your way around this little slot narrow right here. And once you wiggle your way out of this slot narrow, you're gonna essentially be back in the narrows of this hike, and there's just gonna be more rocks that you gotta climb through. And there's gonna be another part where more rocks are piled onto each other. And it's the same thing with this one. You just gotta work your way around the rocks and get back onto the trail. But there's a hole right there you could see up ahead, and you could just climb up
opening right here
onto the side, and you go through this little tunnel right here, and you'll be back in these narrows. And of course, this is a pretty amazing hike because you will get to another ladder that you need to climb up. And this is going to be the ladder we have to climb up. And when you do climb up this ladder, just be careful, take your time, because the ladder is a bit wobbly, and you're going to be able to climb over these steps. So this section looks a bit sketchy, but it's actually not too bad. You just got to take your time when you're climbing up through this canyon. And when you get up here, you'll be back in the Narrows. And of course it's, like I said, narrow. But it's pretty amazing how close these walls are to each other. Just the way these rocks are carved in naturally. I would like to do a little bit of research in the history on how the Mecca wilderness was formed. But a huge chunk of this section is like this, where you're just going through these narrows. But that's the beauty of the hike right there. And that's what makes it very unique compared to other hikes that I've done. And this is like the Narrows in Utah, but without the water. And it's actually slightly easier because you don't have the water up to your waist. And after this point, we will come along the corner and reach another ladder. And I believe this was the last ladder I took on the way up. But the ladders is what makes it fun. The ladders is what makes it adventurous. And once you get past that ladder, you'll be opened back up to this part where it widens out for a bit. And down there you can see the narrow where we came up through. And it'll widen up again, and you'll see some of the vegetation on the trail. And there's these little sections that you will see that look like trails, but they're not. That pretty much leads to a dead end. And you're going to see this rock right here. There's going to be a left and a right, but we're going to go on the right side. And this is actually the red texture, and it's one of the reasons why they call it the Painted Canyon, because of all the different colors that you could see on these hills and rocks. So we just came up through there, and we're going to go up more through all these rocks. And we're going to make our way up through here, and you can just see the different colors of the rocks from a distance. And right there is somewhat of a trail, but it's going to take us up. And so that's the dead end point we're going to go to, which will be the last lookout point. And this is the first viewpoint of the hike. And you're going to notice the purple, the orange, the yellow radiating throughout the rocks. So the different colors just make it very unique. And that right there will be the last point, or the second point, excuse me. And we have made it to the second point, or the second viewpoint. And after this viewpoint, we will go to the dead end section. And that right there will just loop back around and take you back to the other side. But we're going to head up here, and we're going to make a right and go straight up. And you can see all the colors and all the paths. And look at that yellow right there, the gold, the purple, and just the various colors coming out through the rocks. And so this is the dead end point.
So right there.
We're going to get to, and just more views of the canyon. you could just see everything from here. It's amazing. And this is the last viewpoint, or the dead end point. And look at all of the colors around me coming out through the rocks. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.